This is the plaintiff, Samantha Graham. She says she needed to rent a place pretty darn quick and agreed to rent the bedroom of the defendant's one-bedroom apartment. The defendant was to sleep on the couch in the living room and she was going to get the bedroom. One day she came home and found the defendant sleeping in that bedroom and in her bed. Gross. She moved out and wants her 1 month's worth of rent returned. So she's suing for $600, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Angel. She says the plaintiff moved all of her things into the apartment, lived there for a few days, and then texted her saying she lost her job and couldn't afford the place anymore. Well, she's sorry, but she lived there for a few days, and according to her sources, she's allowed to keep the whole month's rent. She's accused of plopping down in the wrong place.
Samantha Graham, you are suing, you've asked to be referred to only as Angel.
Yes.
Angel for $600, $500 of it in August rent that you paid her and you want back, and $100 of it because you had to spend a night at a hotel. Tell me about this.
Okay, in mid-July, I was living with a male friend who, that didn't work out, and I need to move, you know.
As in a boyfriend, or is
it was kind of like a boyfriend, but not exactly.
Okay, so it was awkward
but,
and you needed to get out.
Yeah, I needed to get out, and I ran into Angel through Craigslist. She had an ad for a one-bedroom. She put a one-bedroom apartment for rent. So I met up with her. I met her the 23rd, the Friday.
Of July.
July, yes. I met with her, and, you know, I walked in the place, didn't really like it too much. It was a one-bedroom. I thought that it was maybe a two-bedroom where she'd had one bedroom, I had one, but it was a one-bedroom, and she said that, you know, you take the bedroom, it was fully furnished, and, you know, I'll stay in the living room, and, you know, my brother stays on and off, but he's not here all the time. At that point, I was kind of
desperate. She told you all that before you decided to rent the place?
Yes.
Okay.
I was kind of desperate because the end of the month was coming up and I really needed to get out of the situation that I was in. So I said, you know what, it's not really where I want to be, but I'll take the place. I came the next day, the next morning, and I gave her the money for the first month rent. That was $500. I asked her, can I give you a check? She said, no, I prefer cash. All right, fine. Once again, not a wise decision. I gave her the $500 cash. So that morning, you say Saturday morning, I came in about 3 o'clock because I got out of work pretty late. I went in the place.
Wait, why are you going in the place? You're renting for August.
Well, no, because on the receipt she wrote July 24th to August 24th. So technically, that's for that month.
Okay.
And I told her, it was from, she's
Let me see the receipt. Okay.
And I told her too, I said, you know, I'll be moving in my stuff for this week, but I'll be completely in by August 1st. So she gave me the key. She said, whenever you're ready to come in, come in. So that next day, I started to bring just some sheets, some linens over. I come in, she's sleeping in the bed.
Okay, what time of the night is this?
This is about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's
yeah.
Oh, how odd.
Yeah,
Someone would be
because
sleeping. Okay, so it's 3 in the morning. Why are you coming in at 3 in the morning?
Well, I work as a bartender.
Okay.
So I get out of work late.
Okay.
I told her this as well.
She knew that. All right.
Yes.
So you come in so you have the key.
I have the key.
You've been moving stuff in. You come in at 3 in the morning. Would this have been the first time you would sleep there?
I was yeah, this would be the first night that I would sleep there.
So you come in and Goldilocks, somebody's sleeping in.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And
actually, that would make you Little Bear.
It was odd.
Go ahead.
It was odd because, you know, I would believe that since it's a one-bedroom apartment and you're sleeping in the living room, from the time that you wrote on the check from August 24th, July 24th,
she shouldn't be in the bed.
She shouldn't be in the
are your
room.
sheets on the bed or are her sheets on the bed?
She had no sheets on the bed.
No sheets on the bed.
Yeah. So she's sleeping on the mattress, and I was like, wow, okay.
Okay. So what'd you do?
I left.
And did what?
I put my things in the living room and I left. I went back to the place that I was staying at that time. So the next morning I texted and I said, hey, you know, what are the sleeping arrangements again? Because, you know, I was under the impression that I was having the room and you were in the living room. She said, oh no, I didn't know that you were coming in. I said, well, I thought that since once I paid for it, you technically should be out the room. She said, you know, I'm sorry about that. I'll get out the room. A few hours later, I was speaking over with my friends, and I was like, you know, this is not a good idea. I said, hey, I told her that I lost my job, which wasn't true, but I told her that I lost
But why did you have cold feet like that? Like, why did you change your mind about it? Because really, like, I mean, you hadn't moved in yet. What day was it that this happened?
The 25th.
25th, okay.
The very next day that I gave her the check.
And according to you, you just misunderstood her? You didn't think she'd be sleeping there yet?
No, I thought she was just gonna bring her stuff and stuff like
But
that.
is it accurate that she paid rent from July? You were going to just start calling the rent from July 24th to August 24th?
Well, yeah, that's where I put the receipt, yeah, for
Okay.
that day.
So technically, she was already paying rent for that room. So why were you sleeping there?
Well, actually, she just told me she was gonna move her stuff, and on the 1st, that's when she was gonna move. And
So you just
officially-
misunderstood and you thought you'd be able to use the bed. Okay, did you wake her?
No, I didn't.
Okay, now if she had woken you, let's just assume a different scenario. And that, you know, Baby Bear comes in and says, Goldilocks, what are you doing sleeping in my bed? Get up. What would you have done?
I would have got up and everything like
Okay, so in fact, when she texts you the next day or calls you the next, call or text,
I text.
when she texts you the next day and says to you, hey, you know, what's going on? Were you like embarrassed and mortified and said, geez, I'm really sorry? Like, what was your
No,
reaction to it?
I was more like, you could have just woke me up. It wasn't no big
You were sort of
deal.
surprised she didn't wake you up? All right. when
Kind
she-
of.
Yeah. So am I. Because if I'm paying rent and you're sleeping in my bed, I'd say, get out. And that would sort of take care of that. So she then tells you, I lost my job. I think you just really got cold feet. And you just decided, I don't really want to live with somebody else under these circumstances.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I know, but how do you get $500 back when you do that? You breached the contract when you do
because
that.
that's where it goes into that. So I told her, hey, you know, I don't want to stay here since I technically didn't move in yet. Can I get the money back?
Let's
and she
assume
said,
you never ever set foot in the place. If you rent a place and you hand over first month's rent, you have a deal, you have a contract with them that you're going to rent that place for next month. How do you get to back out of the country and get your money back?
because she breached her side of the contract
How
as well.
did she breach it? Because she
Because-
misunderstood and was in the bed.
No, not that. Because after that, we had an agreement. She said that she would, because it was still late July, that she would put it back on Craigslist, and if someone else took the room, she would give me back the money.
Okay.
That was the agreement. So after that, like I was texting her and calling her every day, hey, did anyone get back to you? And after a while, she just stopped responding to me.
Okay. Did anybody get back to you?
No.
Did you rent the place out?
No.
To this moment, you haven't rented
Nope.
the place out?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have any proof that she did?
I don't, but that's not what I was saying.
Unless you can prove she rented it. Then
Yeah, but I'm not saying that she rented out the room. What I'm saying is that after that, I said, you know what? Like what you're saying, that's absolutely right. I gave her the money. So, you know, I'm just going to suck it up and stay for the month.
Okay.
So I go there, the 29th, the locks are changed. It's
the
different.
29th of.
The 29th of July.
Of July.
I go and she added another lock because she gave me the key to the top lock and she gave me the key to outside. So I come and she locked the top one and the bottom one. I had no access to the room. That's the night
Why
that I
didn't
went.
you originally have a key to the bottom?
She never gave it to me. She said, this is the only key that you're going to need. This is what she told me from the beginning. So
Okay, how
I
long had you been trying to reach her? And did you ever text her, look, I'm coming in?
No, I figured
What
that
time of the night were you there to
this
get?
This was about like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning as
Don't
well.
you think there's a better way to handle this stuff? Like if that's not just you putting me on, if you really meant to move in there and for the month, why would you not? You know how to text.
Yeah, I said
she
to
may
her.
not be responding, but she's receiving. So why couldn't you just say to her, listen, if you're not going to give me my money back and you're not returning my text, that's fine, but I paid for this month and I'm staying there
Yeah,
through
I called
August
her and I said
24th.
that.
I'll be there.
I called, I said that to her.
You
So
called
I
me,
came.
texted, which one?
No, with the me coming in and saying that I was going to stay there, I called her. She did not pick up her phone call. I left her a message. I said, I'm coming in. I'll stay for
On
the
a
month.
recorder, you left her a
Yes,
message.
I
Did she
said-
leave you a message?
No.
Do you have
I
any
didn't
proof
get
that
it.
you left her a message? If it was
I
a text,
mean,
you'd be able to prove it to me.
yeah,
Do you have any
I-
proof?
I don't
you
have
texting
any.
queen, all of you people who
She's
do
been
nothing but text
texting.
each other. Does anybody have any proof of what you're saying?
So, if the lease wasn't signed, but the person gave the money, can she get the money back?
Yes,
Because?
there was no lease signed.
But she agreed to move in.
It doesn't matter because there's not a legal contract to her going into the house.
Final word.
Yeah, she gets it back.
She gets it back. Okay, we will find out going inside the courtroom.
All right, so then you go in at 3 in the morning again, and the lock. Now, did you change the locks?
Nope.
What happened?
She only had the lock she only had the key for the top lock, not
Okay.
the bottom lock.
Right,
So,
but if you know that she's paid until August 24th, why are you locking the bottom lock if you know you
Because-
didn't give her a key?
because the whole thing about it is she moved out all her stuff. She told me that she lost her job and that she was going to go with her mom's. And that was it. I didn't hear from her, nothing like that. And then she's saying that she was going to call the cops. I ain't
Wait, she was saying she's going to call the cops to get her
Yeah.
money back.
Not to get my money
Yeah.
back, to get
Wait,
into
stop,
the apartment.
stop. To what?
To get into the apartment.
Wait. Why would you tell her I'm going to call the cops to get into the apartment instead of saying to her, I'd like to get into the apartment?
Because I did that. I called her and I left her a message saying I'm coming in to move in for the month because she's not responding to me.
Right.
I went there that night.
You know,
and
not one of thing that you're saying now is in your complaint.
Yes.
No.
I told her that.
I happened to tell the story to one of my friends. She even said I needed to get out of the situation. So I
Yes.
called her. I told her I no longer wish to move into her apartment, asked her for her money back.
She said no. After that, we said that, okay, you're going to try to get the...
2 days after she stopped answering my calls and texts, I decided to go back to the apartment to get my things. According to you, the things were already out. When I arrived, the doors were locked. She must have changed the locks. I couldn't believe it. Technically, I still lived there. I mean, see, because you're right. If you paid the money, you get to use the place. But if you've left the person under the impression that, A, you're not using the place, and B, you're going to sue them, they might want to lock the bottom lock.
I didn't tell them that. I didn't tell her I was going to sue her until after the fact that I said I was going to move in, and I left her a very angry message the next day. I said, hey, you know, I came here, and, you know, I'm paying for the month.
Here's a problem that I'm having. You know, you raise some good points if I believe them, but I'm having trouble believing them when you and I both know that what happened is that you changed your mind about the place.
Yeah, I did change my mind about it.
Trouble.
But then if I decide that I want to stay there after the fact, she should not be locking the bottom lock.
And I agree with you. And so long as she had a clue that that's what you were going to do, a clue that that's what you were going to do, and she kept you out, I'm with you. And the problem I'm having is that she says, Judge, I had no clue because she said, I'm out. I'm not taking the apartment, and I guess I'll see you in court. And you have to contradict that, and because you got to prove your case. You're the one with the burden of proof as a plaintiff. So I'm looking for anything. In a texting world where you're talking to me about how you text her this, you text her that, you text her what were you doing in the bed, you text her. You can't prove to me that you notified her that, all right, then I'll just take the place for until August 24th. You can't prove that to me?
But I mean, I called her, and I guess I don't have that evidence for that.
Yeah, that would be great evidence.
But
that would be great
again,
evidence, because if the situation is just that you changed your mind, which we all know you did, and you said to her, I'm not going to take it, I want my money back, and she says, I can't, I paid August rent with it, and then, you know, and then that's it, she doesn't expect you back. She thinks you've moved out, your stuff is out. By the way, you claimed that at that time your stuff was still in there, so I take it the stuff is still in there right now, right?
My sheets are still in the bed.
Because
I brought my sheets in there. I brought my sheets in there, yes.
Is there anything that's in of
Nope,
hers?
definitely.
Why would you take everything but the sheets?
Because the sheets were on the bed, and I was planning on sleeping there.
On what bed? You never slept there, and according to you, she was sleeping on a mattress.
Yes, I came in
Verdict
the
for
house.
the defendant.
So the plaintiff will not get her money as this verdict goes for the defendant. What's your feeling coming out of the courtroom here?
I'm pretty upset about the whole thing. I feel as if, you know, even if I said that I was not going to live there, the fact of the matter is that I paid for an entire month. And if I paid for a month, she should not be locking another lock. And she locked the doors.
All right, so you lose this money, but was it worth it to get out of the deal there?
Yeah, it was. It was. The place is terrible, and I'm living someplace much better now. It was terrible, and you know, if she needs to get over on $500, then more luck to her.
All right, right down this way. There's some documents waiting for you around the corner there. All right, so step on in here. This is the defendant. You win your case, and you have sort of a shady smile on your face there coming out. What is that?
Justice is done. That's it. That's all.
Okay, Harvey.
Unless there's a specific cooling off period in the deal, the fact is once you sign, you're stuck.